120. OK, the very best of luck to you. Now, new research by a French university has found that new mums who give birth to boys are more likely to suffer from postnatal depression. And even if women don't suffer from depression, having a baby boy is more likely to reduce their quality of life than having a baby girl. So, depression aside, is bringing up a boy harder than raising a girl? You've got a boy, Zoe.
Oh, yes, I've got a boy. And it's extremely hard. I can honestly say he's 6. And in 6 years, I've never been able to stay in the house all day with nothing to do. Because he wakes up in the morning, 6:30, he's like, what are we doing today, Mum? What are we doing today? Running around, wants to fight, wants to wrestle. No, my friend came, when he was about 2.5, she came to stay. And she'd got a little girl who was the same age. And after about 3 hours, she turned to me, she said, how'd you do it? How do you do it? She said, I don't understand. She said, because Molly will sit there and she'll just play with her toys for hours. He doesn't sit still for 5 minutes. So I think they're completely different animals. So for me, you know, as a single mum, it's constant. I'm exhausted constantly.
I mean, we've all got boys here. Yeah. I'm the only one who's got a girl, but Amy's only 15 months old, so I don't know yet, you know, whether there's a massive difference in the two. At the moment, it's just a difference of personalities. I mean, I know that she can play happily by herself, but it's mainly in cupboards where she's not supposed to be. You know, when she's quiet, you think, what's she up to? And she's in the kitchen, chucking things behind her, like that. We can see her bum sticking out.
It's hard work, though.
Well, you know, I don't know. I think all children are hard work. How do you know that one is more hard work than others? It is just hard having
You're right. When somebody
kids.
comes... my two boys, when somebody came round with girls, they did seem to be able to say to their daughters, there you are, darling, there's a colouring book. You colour that in. And they'd go... And mine'd be... You know. And I think they do require that they've got an energy, and a different kind of energy, if you like. And I just feel... I understand where girls are coming from. I haven't had girls, I had 2 sisters, but to me, boys were a mystery. Men are a mystery. So the boys were a mystery, you know, on every level.
I mean, I find with Finley, he can't do anything by himself. I mean, he's not a particularly boisterous little boy, you know, he's very active. But it's always, Mum! 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 By the end of the day, thinking, right here, Mum! One more time. And he just needs you to sit with it. Sometimes just watch him colouring.
But do you think that, I think you hit on it before, that it might be, certainly with my 2 boys, more of just a personality thing than necessarily a gender thing, because my 2 boys are so different. I mean, I've got the big age gap of nearly 19 and nearly 7. And Matt, who's the eldest, was a really laid-back baby. I mean, from the fact that my labour was nearly 40 hours, was like, yeah, whatever, I'll come when I'm ready, you know. And this is now still the same. But that's really his main flaw, is kind of, you know, laziness. But he's not been a bit of bother. I used to say to people, I don't know what the terrible 2s are, because he's never had the terrible 2s, 3s or 4s. Louis, on the other hand, is a completely different ball game. But maybe it's because I'm an older mum, although he came out different. He was poorly when he was born, and I think maybe I was overprotective because of that reason. But Tim now says this is one of the main areas that we have our arguments about, because he says that I'm allowing Louis to rule the roost, and I give in to him far too much. I still let him sleep with me, and a lot of that is to do with the fact that sometimes when I've been away, so there's a little bit of guilt there. And also because he'll kick off so much. He's got a bedroom, which is a fantastic bedroom, all Newcastle United, and he'll go, I don't even support them, I support Man U, because he doesn't want to go in his bedroom. That's how it starts. And eventually, I go, oh, for God's sake, just get in my bed. But there's a part of me that actually does quite like sneaking in and snuggling up to him. But Tim says, he says, you know, well, no wonder he thinks that he owns you, because he thinks that you know, you sleep with him and not with Dad. But I mean, I desperately wanted a boy. I mean, I've never had any hankering, particularly for a girl, even possibly because I have 2 nieces who I'm extremely close to. So I've loved having boys, even though I don't understand them.
Very careful. When my marriage broke up, and they were quite young, they were 9 and 12, or 8 and 12, there is a great desire for comfort for yourself, you know, and they're upset and they want to be with you. And I was very conscious that I must be grown up and put them in their room. And if I look back now in retrospect, I should have been much, much tougher on them then for them now as young men, because I think, I don't know what it is with boys. It's not, you know, you sort of... Whether it's because they're a different gender, and you just want them to to love you.
But when they cry as well, I mean, it's just somehow
well, they
more
just have to wind
heartbreaking
you up.
than girls. I mean, Matthew has always been more emotional, and when he was about 11, we went to my goddaughter's engagement party, and, well, it was her 21st, and on the night, they announced that they were getting engaged as well, and we'd allowed Matthew for the first time to have half a pint of lemonade with a dash of lager in the top. And when they announced the engagement, he burst into tears and he went, "Sorry, Mum, it's just Foster's makes me so emotional." Like a little
I mean, what you were saying actually makes me feel better, because I worry that I've been too hard on Finney, because I'm very strict with him, and especially when you know, when I was breaking up and I was on my own with him, and he was 2, so he was going through that time where he'd just got into a big bed, you know, out of a cot, and it was sometimes, you know, 20 times a night, up, down, up, down.
But you do it because you're on your own with them, and that's how you get through it.
No, but I didn't let him come in my bed.
She didn't give in, you see.
I had nights where literally I was hanging onto the door like this, going, "You're not coming out," and it would have been easier. And I'd go back to bed and think, maybe I should, maybe I'm being too hard.
I know, my ex-husband says to me, I'm completely overprotective, and I make all my decisions around Jake. Well, of course I do, because it's just me and him. And maybe I do in the bed thing. I try my best not to allow him to sleep in my bed, because I know that if I ever have a nice relationship, I can't have him in my bed. You know, that's the end of it. But I mean, I do turn down things, and you know, just recently I turned down Panto because I didn't want anyone else putting him to bed for 7 weeks, and I thought that would really upset him. But maybe it would have upset me. I mean, I don't know. Would you have turned down Panto?
Oh, darling, well, it depends what it is. Fairy on a Christmas tree, I'm up for it. No, but I think you're right. See, I wouldn't go away. I think he's 6. I think that's... It's when you make the break. I think 6 is too young, and I think they need that security of you putting them to bed, you know? But I don't know, 9
The thing I don't like about myself is the jealousy that I feel. I absolutely adore Matt's current girlfriend, and to be honest, I've really always adored, but I still get this kind of, you know, I want to be doing that with him. I mean, not that with, obviously, but I mean, but I get a little bit of jealousy that maybe I wouldn't have with a daughter. I don't know. Who
Okay,
knows?
well, we've got to go to a break now, so don't go anywhere. After the break, the man behind that pillar of Ramsay Street, Harold Bishop, will be here for a chat. That's actor Ian Smith. Back in a bit. Today's competition of having a chance of winning £3,000. What is the main ingredient of a risotto? Is it A, corn, B, rice, or C, lentils? Call 09012 931 941. Calls cost £1 from BT landlines. Calls from mobiles and other networks may be higher. Text WIN plus your answer A, B, or C to 63337. Text costs £1 plus 1 standard network rate reply message. Digital satellite viewers can enter by pressing their red button now. You can also enter for free at itv.com. Entrance must be 18 or over. All lines close at 1:20. Good luck, and don't forget that all entry lines close at 1:20, so if you do try to enter after this time, you may still be charged. Our final guest has been a regular on our screens for over 20 years as the longest-serving character on Ramsay Street.
You do realise that the recommended intake of caffeine per day per person is 20 milligrams?
How many cups have I had?
I think that's 5.
Well, give me another. I need it. I didn't sleep a wink last night.
Well, that's not going to